All right, folks, Blackmagic has done it again. Hey folks, AJaytheCEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com. Link is in the description. So I was on my way coming back from Georgia, visiting Victory Chapel, and I got a notification on YouTube that Blackmagic had another live stream that they were doing. So I turned on while I was just listening to it while I was driving, and they announced the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. And I'm like, I was just talking to my brother-in-law the other day saying that I really feel that Blackmagic is going to come out with a ATEM Mini 4K version or one with 8 inputs, but something was going to happen because of the success. Now, I never ever thought that they were gonna add the features in this thing that they did, and it's making me sit back to consider, should I even move to that? So for those who don't know what's going on, let's go ahead and cut over to the computer. So, this is Blackmagic's site. They've updated the ATEM Mini again to the Pro ISO, interesting name. And if you look, really, they haven't changed the layout at all, but they've changed the inner workings of it, because this thing, and let me just jump to what I think is exciting about this. Y'all know that I do all of my video editing in DaVinci Resolve, really like it, and it takes time to put all this stuff together, sync it up and everything like that. One of the most compelling things that this thing does is when you record through the SSD that you have connected to it, it will actually create a DaVinci Resolve project with everything that you've done. For me, that would save so much time. Like, I can literally record whatever event that I'm doing, do dissolves, do everything, and all those things with the assets already synced up, everything just goes into DaVinci Resolve. I just got to plug my drive in, double click on it, boom, that's it. That is awesome. So if there was anybody who, I know I'm due for part 3 of my DaVinci Resolve, learning it. And I'm just sitting back thinking, for those who get one of these and use DaVinci Resolve, it would make editing so much easier, because you can reverse engineer and see how you've done everything. So if you've done the transitions copy over. I'm very impressed that, granted, I look forward to a 4K version, or maybe other inputs, or taking a refresh of the ATEM Television Studio HD with all of the advancements that they've done to have SDI and HDMI scalers, all this other stuff, have it embedded to record, having all the functionality from the Mini put into their bigger switchers, which I feel that's going to happen sometime soon. But this makes this all-in-one, almost a turnkey solution, to where you can hook up whatever cameras you want, live stream from the device. You don't need a computer for it. You could hook it up to a computer if you want to do more control. You can do all of the special effects that are available and record it locally, not just the main program out, the final of what you've done. Is actually records every individual input. So if you ever make a mistake, which I've done multiple times, where I have to come back and record extra footage to fix something I may have done, but to literally be able to do that, and you have all of the recordings from every single input raw, but then you have the mix and you can roll back at any time. I mean, that, and it makes all of that into time code, sync everything up, audio is synced up, everything is synced up in a project file that you just got to double click and open. I mean, and I literally just made an investment in this in some other stuff that I'm doing that y'all will see pretty soon next week. And I'm almost like, why did you do this, Blackmagic? So I'm not going to step on my feet like I did last time, where I was talking about that there's no need for going to the ATEM Mini Pro, because I love the ATEM Mini Pro. This is serious. Let me cut back over here, because I sit back and think, like, when I do sporting events or if I'm doing weddings, I mean, let me just share with you my thought of this, to where even if you don't have a media ministry that's actively doing everything, like literally you could put all your cameras up, set the angles, and then just put it in ISO mode and just let it record. And then you can come back and edit it, and you have every camera angle that you can edit and switch back and forth to make a very professional production if you wanted to. So it's like almost a set it and forget it type of thing. Or like for like, I look at this, I'm not going to talk about weddings. I've only done a couple, but I'm talking about like from sporting events. I can set up multiple cameras, commentators, all this other stuff, and just let them go. And I can come back and edit all of that, and everything's already done. I mean, I just think that's very, very, very powerful. Now, the other thing, I don't know if that was something new based off of what I'm seeing here. Oh, it was talking about sharing over here. I need to play around with the wireless connectivity with this. I'm always connected over hardwire. So now they also have a new thing where it's a ATEM streaming bridge. And this is cool too, because I've always come up with other hacks to get other stuff to work, but this will let you stream. The internet will pick up. You can hook the ATEM up to your network, hook this ATEM streaming bridge to the internet. It will pull the feed off of your ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and then it gives you SDI out and HDMI out, so you can use this to bridge over to other TVs. Like normally I would run SDI through the house, through the building, to whatever, but literally you could probably hook this up to internet somewhere in the building and run SDI or HDMI to your projector, your TVs, or whatever on the other side of the building without necessarily having to run like 100-foot, 300-foot cable to connect it. I'm looking forward to getting one of these and testing this out, because that's the part of the stream that I missed. But I'm really excited about that. Now, the investment recently that I've done, I've actually finally went ahead and got a pocket cinema camera that's supposed to be coming in next week, because I'm going to be upgrading all my stuff to doing more videos in 4K, kind of future-proofing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. But the other thing is they did an update to where the ATEM Mini can communicate with the pocket cinema camera, so you can do adjustments and all this other stuff with it. And I'm looking forward to that. But this ISO added something else to where you can, and I hope you can do this with the Pro, but it will let you, when you hit the record button, it will actually do recording to the pocket cinema camera, so that I'm recording in 1080p through the ATEM Mini Pro, but it will engage time-stamped, synced, and everything. It's recording in 4K on the pocket cinema camera, or 6K if you have the pocket cinema camera 6K, and I can use those assets and just pull them in. Or just like with the the ISO, it's saying that even if you use this project file that it makes, it can come in here and you can come in and select that I want to use this. I want to use the raw footage from the camera over the ISO recording that's coming from the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. I need to come up with a better acronym for that, ATEM Mini Pro ISO, or I don't know, maybe gets used to it, just rolls off the tongue sooner or later, but I don't know. But I'm really excited about that, and it looks like they've also did an update to the software where they added some other things here, because I know I had to do some hacks to modify the XML so that you can have more streaming keys, but it looks like they have a call out for their menus now, and I know that because help used to always be the last one, and I can always remote in to see if they've changed that. But you can actually upload the XML file here to do more streaming stuff. So I'm gonna play around with that. But I'm really, really liking the fact that Blackmagic keeps pushing this stuff. And honestly, if it wasn't for the only 4 inputs, it's almost like, what's the point of getting one of these regular switchers like the ATEM Television Studio HD? Again, it's probably because of the amount of inputs you want. This still doesn't allow, the ATEM Mini Pro still doesn't, and the ISO still doesn't allow you to have a aux out, so you can have something else going and things like that. But I still feel that I don't know if it's going to be the ATEM Mini Pro 4K ISO Redux Part 2. I don't know what they're going to come out with next. But I mean, I can really see them taking all the bells and whistles that they've put in this thing and revamping at least the ATEM Television Studio HD, because at this point, outside of having 8 inputs and an aux out or SDI ins, this thing is powerful, and I can really see them doing something like this, which I think would just change the market, because at $895 is what this is going for. I mean, you're $100 less than what the ATEM Television Studio HD does, but it does so much. Yeah, you're missing 4 other inputs and an aux out, but you're adding the functionality of a HyperDeck studio that can record everything times 4, because it's recording every single input and your program output. You have an encoder built in, so that's like the Webcaster web presenter that they have that still, I think, is still on 720p, which is like $700, which is a waste at this point. You have controls over high-end cameras, so you can do changing the iris, changing all the controls with the Pocket Cinema camera. I mean, it's so much that they've crammed into this thing that if you really, really want to save time, I mean, I like the Pro, but I mean, the ability to able to come back and easily edit using DaVinci Resolve, because it pretty much makes that for you. I have to start saying now, if you're into trying to really step your game up in production when it comes to your media ministry, it's almost like it's good for you to go ahead and get an ATEM Mini Pro ISO. I'm not ready to get one yet just because of all the stuff I've recently done, but I think that would greatly impact the type of turnaround of what I'm doing. So I'm really thinking about it. It won't be anytime soon, but I just think that this is, I just have to slow golf clap. Blackmagic, y'all have done it yet again. In the description, I'm gonna link to their presentation so they show everything. Obviously, I don't have it. This is just my first impressions of it, and I'm really excited about what they've done and just how I've talked about it here on my channel, this of how technology has allowed the entry. It doesn't cost as much that almost any church can buy one of these things, and you're literally have jumped past a lot of the hard lessons that a lot of us had to do when we started this a while ago, that it's making a lot of this stuff automated so that you really don't have to do as much as you have to compared to just a year ago, to be quite honest. So link is in the description. I will, as soon as I find where you can get one of these things, I'm sure, actually, let's cut over here and see if B&H or who else has one of these things available. I'm sure it's going to be up here sooner or later. So it's not on here yet. So let's take ATEM Mini Pro ISO. Yeah, they haven't even, B&H doesn't even have their stuff on there yet. So let's check out Adorama. Yep, Adorama's got it. So, wow. That, at least that's where I know it is right now. I'm thinking about it. If I do get something, it might be maybe next month. I might put a pre-order down on something. I don't know, but anyway, there it is, folks. Hopefully I jumped ahead, because most of the time my subscribers are asking me, especially when the Pro came out, they were like, AJ, what are your thoughts on it? So hopefully I jumped ahead and got y'all's thoughts, shared my thoughts on that, and I really think it's awesome. If you are in the market for it, but you want to do video editing with it, I think that additional $300, honestly, it seems like a lot, but based off of what you have to do with video editing and syncing and all this other stuff, I think that would be awesome. And just to jump ahead, just think, with something like this, if you did a virtual choir, you could literally have a camera on each person and then just let it go. And I'll leave that alone. But I think this will catapult your media ministry if you went ahead and got one. I know it seems like a bit much, but based off of everything that's packed in, especially with all the functionality that's from the ATEM Mini Pro that I fell in love with, I think $300 is reasonable for all the stuff that they've added in as well. So anyway, that's about it, folks. Those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments, are you thinking about getting one? Or if you haven't gotten one, now you have 3 options. You have the Mini Pro, Mini Pro ISO. Which one did you want to use? I'd love to hear what you're thinking about getting, or if you have one, which one that you've got. Let me know in the comments. I read all the comments. Try to respond to all of them. But anyway, if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like, consider subscribing, and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. And I want to thank the patrons who have allowed this video to be possible. This is a shout out for them. Their names are on the screen right now, and you can become a patron as well too if you like what we're doing here, and you are also want to help us train other media ministries all over the world. You can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, and you can contribute as little as $1 a month. That way you're contributing to help us train other media ministries just like yours. So anyway, folks, this is AJ. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Later.